Now, Senator Dianne Feinstein called for Senator Chuck Grassley, that's the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, to hold a hearing regarding the reports that a firm that worked for Donald Trump in the 2016 U.S. presidential election improperly attained and then retained the Facebook data of more than 50 million Americans, even after Facebook asked Cambridge Analytica to delete the information. So what does this mean for the very thing that makes Facebook so attractive to investors, the trove of highly specific information it has on each of its 1.37 billion users worldwide? To answer that, let's welcome Mark Douglas. He's the CEO of SteelHouse, a cloud-based marketing company that is also an ad partner of Facebook. Mark, great to get your take on this because you're an ad partner. Are you worrying about the ways in which Facebook looks after data or not?
No, I wouldn't say I'm worried about it. I think Facebook is actually very protective of their data. They have APIs for integrating with them, application programming interfaces, and they're generally pretty strict about what you can access and what you're allowed to use.
Fascinating. So at the moment, you're not worried. You think that actually they hold quite a high bar. Interestingly, this all dates back to 2015. They've changed their own rules, but it seems as though they learned that a company, Cambridge Analytica, had been able to harvest 50 million user details only from actually an app that was all started with 270,000 users. Do you think the fact that this is backdated, that they have since changed their rules, could this have occurred at another time to this sort of significant degree?
Yeah, so I think the way from what I've gleaned about this story is the way in which this app essentially attained this information is you go into an app and you want a convenient way to register and log in. And so you see that in a lot of apps where you kind of register through a Facebook login or you log in through a Facebook login, and it'll often ask you and tells you what that information is going to be used for, usually just for the login. Occasionally you see that the app says, oh, I want to use this information to see your friends. And a really good example of that is the iPhone. When you get calls on your iPhone, the reason you can see pictures of your friends is because the Apple mobile app has basically gotten permission from you to go get that information. And so this is a convenience to users. It's generally disclosed to the users. And it seems like this firm basically misused that. They literally lied to the users and got around Facebook's security provisions on that. I think ultimately you can't just blame the users. Facebook plays a role in that, but it wasn't something that's like a data breach or Facebook handed them information, and the information that they do obtain is pretty limited. But that example of basically getting photos to show you with your phone calls, that's one of the prime examples of how that data is used.
So this is how the story needs to be told more freely, it would seem, maybe address those sorts of specific targets. But Mark, I want to know for you as an ad partner, are you worried that there could be a regulatory backlash here, that regulators could wade in and that we could start to change the way in which the business model really works for Facebook and therefore for you?
Well, there's certainly a lot of talk of that right now. The ad industry is actually largely self-regulated. Like what ads appear on television are largely regulated through the industry itself, agreeing to certain rules that are enforced by firms like Bloomberg, by CBS, NBC. And I think that Facebook, Google, my company, SteelHouse, and others, I think self-regulation is actually faster and probably more effective than government regulators trying to respond to rapid shifts in technology. But I do think that you're going to see a pretty big focus on even more preventing these kind of things. One thing you'll notice on Facebook, there are no porn ads, right? Yeah. And that's because Facebook prevents that. They've regulated. No one ever sees that. And so I think self-regulation works. The government is obviously very interested in the topic right now.